Hi everyone, welcome back to the last session of the Polkadot Educate series. Can't believe it's the last one. As I said kind of previously, Angela's not here, so I'll be kind of covering today. So my name's Johanna to everyone who's just kind of joined, and it's so great to see so many people here. But today's topic is Web3 social media, today and the future ahead. And this will be given by Tushar from Subsocial. Social media links are listed in the chat. So yeah, feel free to go check them out. But without further ado, I'd love to invite Tushar to the stage. Sorry, let me just get this.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I hope you hear me.
Yes, all good. Yep, but I'll leave the stage, but thanks so much.
Yeah. So, hi, everyone. I am Tushar Oja, DevX at Subsocial. Today in this talk, we'll be covering about how you can build Web3 social media and what it is, why there is a need for building Web3 social media, and how does today, tomorrow, and the future ahead of Web3 social media in general looks like. So there's a lot of things which we'll be covering in this particular talk and in this particular session, from why there initially was a need of having social media on top of Web3 and blockchain infrastructure, and what problem does it solve, um, how does today it is, how much evolved it is already, how much evolvement or how much improvements are there for the future, what things needs to be resolved, and overall in long term, what would be the perspective of having a social media on top of blockchain. Again, as I said, I'm Tushar Ocha at DevX at Subsocial. At Subsocial is also a blockchain specifically designed for building social media, and I work there to improve developer experience. Like you, all developers want to build on top of it, so I make sure that it's very smooth and easy process for you. So today, if we think about the world we live in, the world we live in is not pretty awesome if you think, especially taking these two examples in place. For example, Russia banning Facebook and Instagram, like for all of their citizens. If you think of it as a perspective where, like, you imagine you are a user of Twitter and you post about this talk on Twitter, you follow me on Twitter, you follow a bunch of like you have a bunch of following over thousands and millions of people, and next day you woke up and you don't even have access to your accounts. Your accounts are blocked, deleted, or banned by some government. Similarly, there have been examples and theories in past where we have seen like Facebook encouraging hate speech over their platform to boost up their engagement, get more profit, and have more watch time for you so that they can show you more ads. So these are very big issues if you think of as a user, where you don't decide to which content you want to see or not, and you also don't have the rights to your content which you have created over years of time. And that's why we call that the social media today is very much broken. And the major issues involve like deplatforming. If you think, there in 2020 itself, there were over 1 million Twitter accounts which were suspended. Manipulation, where, as I showed you, that platforms can have specialized algorithms to promote different ideas, different features. They can have their own biasness, which are not clear to you, which are not transparent, and these biasness will form your opinions. Major organizations that the platform supports might overtake smaller organizations and can make them lose the battle of reaching to the customers. Exploitation is a very big example in this use case. If you think that YouTube takes over 45% of creators ad revenue, so imagine it's the creator who's writing the content, who's preparing for it, who's shooting the content on YouTube, and then when he posts the video, it's not the creator who owns that content. 45% or even more, I think it's 55, where this much amount of percentage of ad revenue is taken away by the YouTube, and the creator is left behind with a very small amount. Similarly, censorship is also a very big issue if you think of, where the content moderation policies are not clear and eventually makes you to follow, like, you always agree to the content policies because if you don't agree you cannot use the platform anyway. And these censorship could not just be by the government sometimes, but also these platforms can choose because of their own biasness or behind the scene talks which you don't even know about, and can form like can block you from posting the content, and you don't have anything to do about it. And just when we are talking about these issues, there is another major issue, if you think of, is like which you have already heard about, where your personal data is mined and metadata is collected from it, and it is sold for their own good to show you targeted ads, to get more conversion rate, and sometimes selling you something which you not even wanted to buy. So these things collectively adds up to a very major and big problem which you have to deal with today when you talk about social media. And this is the state of our social media today. Then when we talk about these things, sometimes it comes to our mind that is there a solution possible? Is there a way that we can fight with these big web2 social media giants and um, build a network where these all these issues could be taken down in one step, with one technology, with one force? Is it possible to do this? And the answer is actually, surprisingly, yes. Freedom of speech is actually possible, and decentralized technology helps you create a censorship resistant protocol to do it. You can regain the control of your audience, of your digital identity, where you have a digital identity, your personal own personal network and conversations with each other. There is no middleman. So let's say if I am talking to you today off stage, over a chat or in person, then there is no middleman. I don't want anyone else to be hearing it or conveying the message in between. It should be peer to peer. When I send you a message, you receive it, and that's how it should be, like one-on-one connections. Similarly, we want to have a custom view where you can like choose a user interface, like however the UI you want it to be fine tuned according to you. The content and recommendation algorithms are also fine tuned. But you can imagine like having a marketplace where you can choose which sort of content recommendation algorithm you want, which is based on your followers, which is based on some things you like, the topics you choose, or whatever it is. So you can choose actually to which sort of content algorithm you want to have. And the true on-chain experience would be something like you create a wallet, you have your profile, basically your identity, which you hold privately. There is a private key generated for it, and whenever you post content, everything which is happening on chain, on the blockchain, is attached to it. So let's say I created a wallet and I have my private key from which I have generated a new public key. Now this public key private key combination says that whatever I do, everything, every content is signed and sent to blockchain from my private key, so that anyone on the internet can see, okay, this public key, like there's this public key to which someone have a private key who generated this content. So now it is censorship resistant. Anyone can send a transaction to this public open protocol, basically a network of nodes and blockchains spread across the world. Anyone can post it. No one can block you from sending the content to their blockchain. And like you can also run a node by yourself. You can also run a blockchain node by yourself and post the content to it, and everyone else will accept as you pay the gas fees. Similarly, there can be monetization algorithms which you can choose here, where, for example, you want to send money to directly, you want to tip someone. There's tons of possibilities which will open up, and everything is based on this blockchain technology and spread across network of peers who creates an open social graph. That open social graph means that you can take out your audience from one platform to another without losing the content. So imagine you are using twitter.com as a user interface today, and all the users who are using, all the followers you have, all the followings you have, all the network which you have built up over the years, when twitter.com bans you, you can go to a new website which is similar to Twitter, but you will not lose your follower count, you will not lose your content that you have created, all the tweets and the threads, well researched threads that you have created. Everything will stay the same. So basically everything which you see, these are just UIs using the same social graph, and there is a digital footprint attached to it. Like no one can say that you did not created any content on Monday, but you can just prove that on this date and this time I posted this content, and it is present across all the nodes. Even governments cannot ban it 100%. So that is the idea of this true on-chain experience. And there could be this on-chain experience can leverage to many unique features from Web3 social media, which you cannot even think about in Web2. So when we say Web3, it involves a collective technologies that enables to a system, to a ethos where you as an entity hold the privacy rights, you as an entity holds the ownership of everything that you do. So the unique features or the salient features of this Web3 social media could be peer-to-peer connections, where if I want to send you some money, I'll send it to you directly without needing any exchanges, any intermediaries. So like if I'm watching a content or if I'm watching someone's video on YouTube, imagine when I want to support him, there's a super icon, right? But right now, if I pay them, it goes through multiple bank accounts, multiple transactions and fees, and then eventually some part of the money which I send to my favorite creator uh, gets to that. So whereas in this case, imagine you are watching a video and that person is sitting next to you. So if you like the video, you can just tip him with $100 note. So that's the smoothness and that's the peer-to-peer connection capability Web3 social media can enable, which is not possible with Web2 anyway. Second is governance system. So imagine you want to make a content, you want to have you have a list of ideas from your audience. So you can involve your audience to be a part of, have some say in decision making processes for the content that you create, the things that you run. You can run decentralized organizations on top of it, and multiple things would be possible by having the capability to govern and vote and these things. Uh, like the broader idea long term would be to having a creator focused economy where the creator who creates the content and the viewers who watches that content or consumes that content wins, and not just the platforms that maintains or the platforms that allows it. So those should be focused today. If you think about the Web2, in Web2 field, it is basically the platforms that are the center focus point, not the creators. So in this system, the creators would be the focus point. The platform on which you consume that content could be different. You can be watching them on x.com, you can go to y.com and still watch and consume the content. You will not lose anything. That's what we call open protocol, but that means like you are not dependent on any particular platform to have the bond with your audience. And the track record is something which I've already talked about, where if I posted a tweet, if I created a video, there's sometimes organizations who ban it, who delete it, or the platform can delete it for any reason. It would not be possible with this transparent and trackable record. So it's basically blockchain is a collection of records with timestamps to it, which no one can change, as immutable. So similarly, your content will also be immutable. Even if you try to change your content, if you want to update it, the track record would be still there. So for example, if you do a tweet today, now they have an edit feature. Or if you do a Facebook post today, when your post went viral, you wrote something controversial, and when your post went viral, you change it to normal so that you don't get some hate on top of it. Whereas in the blockchain case, the record of all your edits would be minted on chain, and people can see how you progressed with the content. So these things are possible with Web3 social media, and everything which you see, like the track record and everything, is immutable, transparent, and can is trustworthy. You can rely on it. You can verify it. And the biggest issue today, that why you think like why there was, after Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or maybe Snapchat, why there were not many, like you can name a plenty of like handful of Web2 social media today, but not a lot of them. The reason is because these organizations have become so big, so centralized and so big, that it's very hard for you as a person to get more users. So it's like a chicken and egg problem for Web3 social media today, where you want to build a platform, but to get onto the platform as a user, you want some content to be content there already to consume, whereas the content will come from the creators or the users, and they will come only if the content is already there. So it's a chicken egg problem. With this technology of blockchain, you can bring content from other platforms, other social media. Since it's an open protocol, you will have the content on day one and can still onboard new users to it. So that's these are like a simple set of examples of web what's possible today with having some unique features of Web3 social. So that's a lot of theory, right? And if you see about what are popular Web3 protocols, then of course these three, I've just picked a few names which I know and I've heard about. So lenses, a protocol, a set of smart contracts deployed on Polygon blockchain right now, which allows you to have social engagement features on top of blockchain, like on top of Polygon. Subsocial is in itself is a separate blockchain, which is part of Polkadot ecosystem, which allows you to have it's a dedicated blockchain, especially for social media, where it has all the primitives you need. DSO is also a similar blockchain, but it's not part of like any such ecosystem, whereas Subsocial is part of Polkadot ecosystem that has a different story at all, and that you already know. That's why we are on this call right now. You are part of Polkadot hackathon, right? So broadly, this is the idea. If we let's take a quick look on some of the Web3 social apps to get an idea of what's possible, not just on the Polkadot, but yeah, just let's take a look. So if you can see the screen, I just want to confirm. Okay, cool. So let's see. So this is Lenster. It's the most popular app on Lens protocol. So if you see, like usually every Web3 social protocol have these login button and everything where you want to connect to connect a wallet. For example, in this case, I have MetaMask, so I connected it, and you have to sign a message with this protocol to actually use it. So you sign a message, and like there are multiple steps to it, and then you can now access the protocol, and you can like the content or whatever you prefer to do basically, and you can consume the content if you see about some creator's profile and the followers and everything. So this is Lenster, and you also have a profile where you can look to and see how's it going, right? And now let's take a look at something which is built on top of Subsocial. It's a community project people built in the last hackathon. So yeah, it's called FriendTube. It's a video sharing platform on top of Subsocial. So you can see how fast it is to actually get content and play something on top of it. So let's say if I want to play a video, so everything which you see is coming from on-chain data, and you can see the number of subscribers this guy has, and you can likes, dislikes, you can post. So some, let's say if someone posted this comment on this content, no one, even the creator also cannot remove this comment, because it's the right of that, like the freedom of speech, that's what you call. So you can actually have these features right part of your dApp, and like that's the beauty of Web3 social. You can write anything, you can consume the content, play a video, and it is the video itself is also coming from a decentralized social media. So basically you are a part of social media, which everything is decentralized, and all these components come together to give you a good user interface. You can go here and upload a new file, basically whatever you like, and then just post it there. You have your profile, your channel settings and everything. So yeah, and there is this another dApp which is again built on top of solid like sorry Subsocial, which is a content sharing platform which we built in house. So in this, like, you can just write blog posts, share your content, engage with your audience, and it's basically shows off all the things which are possible on top of us. So there are multiple dApps actually, which you can try on. There's Substrate, Stack Exchange, and tons of things which people are doing right now. But this is what I've shown you, how much we have covered from the point we started, right? So we wanted the title was Web3 social media today, tomorrow, and the future ahead. So we have covered about why Web3 social media for first, what was the problem, what was the need. Then we also have covered about today, because I've shown you some of the dApps which are already there and are built on top of different types of blockchains and different types of social media layers. Now let's see about tomorrow and the future ahead. But before that, I think we should also see how do you actually get started, how do you build, and what do you want to like, what would be the end goal here. So the end goal, I think, from my, this is only my personal opinion, it can be different for everyone, but the end goal would be having a creator economy, having the creator in the center, and a smooth onboarding experience. These are the two things I will feel would be the future ahead. Like, creator economy is tomorrow, like is the future ahead, and the tomorrow is basically having a better onboarding experience, which in general Web3 tries to solve. So what, when I say creator economy, it means we have seen in past also where people are get attached to the creator very much, they tip them, they give them money, they follow their content, they subscribed, and like they are just literally fans. Like it's just not the audience, it's the fan following of a creator. So imagine you can be a part of a creator's success. I found a YouTube channel which was pretty amazing but has a very less number of subscribers. I knew that if I knew this creator in general, I know that this creator would be growing 100x in the next few months because his content is great. He's just not discovered much yet. I can help him discover, but in general, I know for sure that this creator is, is doing awesome work. So how do you support it? How do you make sure that you are also a part of a creator success journey? So in this is what we call a creator economy, that the economy revolves around the creator and the content they create. So for example, I as a creator have like my name is Tushar. I do have a YouTube channel, by the way. So on my YouTube channel, let's say I have 700 subscribers right now. I know that my content is great, and people who are those 700 people trust me on that content, that he is doing great work. He's actively making videos. So now what will happen is that I can send and I can mint tokens in my name, let's say dollar Tushar, and these tokens can be, all my audience can buy these tokens and support me for creating more content. And these tokens will actually be intrinsic value attached to my profile, my identity, my content. And these tokens could be a part of my economy. Having imagine you are a king and you have your audience with you, who support you, who back you. So these tokens could be this, and then these tokens could be tradable, and eventually their price will rise as you grow more, as your intrinsic channel or intrinsic content's value get evolved. And they can be staking algorithms and staking mechanisms that could be created. For example, when you publish a new video, someone wants to, like, you express that, hey, all my creators, I need some money, so everyone like stake amount for you. And when you make out of a good video, so if I'm a filmmaker, I want some money to make a good film, and you trust me that I really do great work, so I can, like, create a new video. I can ask all my audience to give money, they crowdfund it, and then when I make that video, it is automatically decided that some part of that revenue or whatever it is will go back to these people who funded it. So these types of things are actually possible, and only Web3 can leverage it. It's not possible with the traditional protocols anyway. Collecting NFTs is something like it's already there. Some protocols allow it, where like if I created a blog post, you liked it very much, you want to support it, then you can, mint an NFT of that particular blog, and there could be only 100 NFTs. So to just show the support, people will buy them and trade them, because you know that this is a great piece of content. The story is legit, and the story is really great. Imagine there, I say, like, there are only just 100 original copies of Harry Potter series. So if you have the original one of the original 100, how would you feel it? Do you think it's valuable? If you think, then imagine this thing going digital, where I have written a great story in my blog post, you loved it, and it's getting viral. And now you and I issue that only 100 NFTs would be there of this copy. As a content creator, they can be, fake copies and all those things, but those would not be valuable, as you already knew. So in a similar way, we see this thing also been evolving very much, and this is already in place. You can also try it, and there's, like, I think hundreds of thousands like of dollars actually, trading already in the space. Similarly, tips is a great example, where if, as I mentioned, like if you want to tip your creator, then you can do it with permissionless manner and directly to that creator. Imagine like just giving cash to someone. In a similar way, you can just transfer that tip to the creator. And collaborative content creation is one of my favorite topic, where let's say there are two big YouTubers who come together to, like, not YouTubers, let's call them the content creators. Two big content creators come together to make a great piece of content, and it's already decided in between them. They will collaborate on that content, and the revenue share is already decided. And when that piece of content actually makes some revenue, they're going to share it automatically. So these are, like, pieces and pieces of different parts, which will enable a content creator to work independently and work with their audience for more content. So that's the idea. But here comes the thing. Okay, I got to know what is today and what is probably tomorrow, or like in the future ahead. But how do I get started? What's needed from me to build a new Web3 social app? This all sounds exciting, but how do as a developer I can get started. So usually these are the set of technologies which different ecosystems and different apps and like actually required to build. So it is Solidity, Rust, and JavaScript. If you are a part of like EVM based chain, whether it's actually a part of Ethereum or it's a part of Polkadot, but it's allowing Ethereum like EVM contracts. So then you need Solidity. If you are using Ink smart contracts, or you are building the primitives of social layer by yourself, then you probably need Rust and JavaScript for writing the content, engaging and building the front end, whether it's mobile app using React Native or a web app using React or Next. So these are set of technologies which people use. Got it. Great stuff. What's next? Okay, I think it's a great time that we have talked a lot about about a lot of things about what it is, how it is, what you like, what are some prerequisites, and mentioned you some protocols. So protocols actually by word itself means something which is permissionless or something which is standardized through which you can use or you can build. So I've talked about the languages or the tech stack you need, and I've mentioned some of these protocols like Lens, Subsocial, DSO, and you can go to their website, go to their docs to see how there's some work and some standardization already done for you so that you can build these stuff very fast. Of course, you can build everything from these three or four, a couple more languages by yourself, but like why to reinvent the wheel? These protocols have already decided and standardized the things. For example, you want a primitive, social primitive for a post, you want a social primitive for a like and reaction, you want a social primitive for comments. So these logics, the following logic, every single thing is already created by these protocols and standardized according to their needs, and you can just use these languages to build on top of it by learning through their docs and their websites to do it. Now onwards, I'm just talking about Subsocial specifically because we are part of this hackathon and we are having some bounties, and like I am best expertised in this particular part. So let's see what it takes to like what Subsocial does and what's our particular take on how we see this Web3 social media grow and how we onboard developers to our ecosystem. So yeah, so as at Subsocial, we are very developer focused ecosystem. That means we allow developers to use languages like to build on top of us multiple dApps, and we have our Subsocial parachain and there are other parachains to which we are connected, and we provide a set of tools with which you can get started, like a JS SDK, standard development kit, GraphQL endpoints, and a starter kit with which you can just get started building a Web3 social app in just one line. We have a couple of developer tools as well, like our GraphQL server using Subsquid. We have a playground on which, without downloading anything, you can just see how easy or hard it is to actually engage with and get some data from on chain, and you can build it. So yeah, these things which we already have, and that's how we do. And on Subsocial particularly, what things you need out of these like popular languages and technologies? You don't need to have knowledge of Solidity. Rust is very popular. You might already know in the Polkadot ecosystem. Similarly, we do also actually not. We just need JavaScript to get started. All you need to know is JavaScript. If you are good with it, and now you know already that what's the advantage of having a Web3 social ecosystem, a Web3 social application, then you are good to go. You can get started building on top of Subsocial to build a Web3 social app. We are a very extensive protocols, and you can choose club together different types of entities and different types of primitives that we already have, like reactions, comments, post, usernames, profiles, spaces, following, in every single thing basically which you need, and you can just plug and play in whatever manner it is suited for your app. And this sort of a playground that we have, in just 3 lines of code you are able to fetch data from blockchain, and you can like share the content with anyone. Like you don't need to download anything to just try out the code in the SDK. So it's a SDK playground where you see, like, I did a small change, I click run, it shows me the output in just 3 lines. I fetch the data from blockchain, IPFS and everything, and I'm showing them on the website. And it just takes 1 line of code to get started. It's a Subsocial starter kit with just npx create react app template. You add that at Subsocial/starter, in just this one line, you will be having a working Web3 social app layer for you to get started and just start building the UI and use the SDK. But this all seems good, and now let's just take a little bit time to talk about the future ahead. So actually, like, this is all I wanted to present today, but then I thought, let's talk a little bit about how we envision the future and what is a bit far from here and where we want it to stop. So as I mentioned, there are two problems that we already have. One is onboarding, and the other is, what was the other one? One is the onboarding and the other is creator economy, setting up a better creator economy. So I talked about creator economy, how it will work, and what the advantages it will have. Now talking about onboarding, what's the problem with onboarding today? So if any Web3 social app which you engage, I showed you, I had to connect a wallet, I had to get some tokens, so I already had money in that, and whenever I do transaction, it costs me money to do it. And I need to have a Chrome extension, which was MetaMask in case of Lens and Lenster. And then I had some tokens. I bought those tokens from money on ramp and everything. And then I have to pay transaction cost every time. So there are a lot of things needed, and I have to secure that seed phrase as well by myself. What at Subsocial we envision, we also want to solve these problems that are attached with Web3 Social and simplifying this experience. In order to do that, we created internally, we created a easy to use decentralized chat application. It's called Grill Chat. So all you need to do is to just click on a captcha, and we will create a wallet for you. You don't need any Chrome extensions. And what you see here is a real-time chat experience. And it just with just 2 seconds of block time, that means when you do a transaction, you send a message, it just takes 2 seconds to add a new block and get your transaction added to a block. There is no token needed for your users. That means that if I want to use this dApp, I don't need to buy some tokens to actually use it. That's the capability these things we are able to implement because we have our own chain to run everything. So we can change, customize, add layers of logics to it directly. And also there is no extension required. Right now I'm like doing it on Safari. I think Safari don't even support extensions. So this is the beauty of it, and it is fully decentralized. Everything you see is 100% decentralized. You chat and engage with people. And so the thing which I wanted to say here is that we are making whatever things that we are doing is basically open source. You can go and engage, and you can add this chat feature to any dApp. So they're popular like Remarks, Singular, Zgeist. So they can have these features onto their website and a part of their website where people can grow and chat about something, do discussions, and will increase the engagement on their platforms, the genuine engagement. So this Grill Chat is also open source. You can try it out, check the code, implement, raise some issues, and do a couple of things. I think I've talked about all the things I mentioned. I talked a lot actually about what is Web3 Social, why it is needed, what's present today already, what we already have, what we will be having in tomorrow, and what we'll be having in the future. I would love if you can also join me on this journey, build awesome Web3 social apps, and take this Web3 social journey to be in real, because the problems, as I mentioned, are very much real, and we all have seen people facing and going through them. So, yeah, that is it. A lot of theory, but yeah, this talk was supposed to be theory. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I would love to answer your questions. Is I'm just reading the questions now. Is the content generated by Subsocial creators stored on chain, or a hash of the content stored on chain as metadata? If the content itself is on chain, how is that done? I understand storing content on chain a lot more expensive than, yeah, you are right. We don't store the content on chain. If you think of what data we store on chain, it is hashes, it is reactions count, it is following, and the graph part where the real social graph is. But the actual content data, like the post you have written, what you have written in that post, is stored on Crust, which is also very reliable, and it is also a decentralized network, and we'll link it. What happens is that our SDK allows it to club it together. So yeah, but these things are very technical aspects of technology in general. But yeah, in this talk, like, it is supposed to be more about Web3 social and like how, why, future, present, about social. So if you have anything questions related to that, I would love to answer. Okay, just say something if that's okay, or you have another questions. Okay, questions are coming in. Okay, I'll wait. There might be scenarios where we might need to remove some generated content. How we are going to deal with that? So, Jatin, I agree. There would be some scenarios where you might not want to see or promote a particular type of content. So, sometimes the content could be very explicit, where, like, you don't want to have it on your DApp. So, there are two ways actually. One of them is when the IPFS nodes, for example, in India, if something, some people talk about a particular thing which as in it doesn't match to my opinion as in person or in general, then what I can do, if I'm running a crust node, I'll don't run it. I'll not pin it to my node. So basically you will cut off this thing at crust layer, and a particular node can do this. Means that the content is still there, but it is not present at a particular geolocation. That is how you do, like when you want to remove some content from a geolocation. But the other case would be as a DApp, front-end DApp, you can choose to mute some words, or you can not show it, hide it, or remove it from a DApp. So the idea here is that the content should be there, but the front ends could be different. So the front ends can have their a particular thing where they have muted some words, but still the content is on present on the blockchain. If I need it, it's there. There could be some other front end that will allow it, which expects the users to be open to some radical ideas or whatever it is. So that's how you do it. And just let me know if you have some follow-up questions. If at the start user doesn't need a wallet or token to use the chat easy onboarding, does it ever get to a stage where you insist a wallet address? Connor, the dApp which I showed you, Grill Chat, you can try it on grill.chat, grill.chat. Uh, so what happens is that when you go to the particular dApp, right now we will create a wallet for you. So it's basically when you go to the dApp, you do a captcha that is basically sort of a human verification that you are a human, you are an individual. And then we create a wallet key, public key, private key pair in that browser itself. In that dApp itself, we create a wallet for you, and then that wallet private key is stored inside your browser. And when you want to log in it in future, you have to have, when you want to log in with the same account, you need to just copy that private key and click on login button and paste it. So that's how it works. uh, the reason why you don't need tokens or to buy it or engage with it is because we have something called energy palette on our blockchain. Like it's again specifically on Subsocial. Some even like that don't even support it anyway. So we have an energy palette on our blockchain which allows to do it, where you can sponsor transactions for your users. So you can burn sub tokens by yourself and sponsor the transactions for your users or anyone. So that's how we do it. Cool. If you have any other questions, do ask.
Hi, Tashar. So sorry, everyone. My internet was completely gone, and for some weird reason, I couldn't
Yeah, no,
load
no
the
worries. Yeah.
stage. But no, thanks so much for taking over. Um, yeah, as Tashar said, are there any last-minute questions?
Oh, there's new one. There is a recent case where XYZ company filed a case against a creator and the content needed to be removed, and must not be promoted or available further. But if it's present and cannot be removed, then someone might be able to access it. So today, like whatever the XYZ company or whatever it happens. So if you think how, like let's imagine a case where you want to still access that content which the content creator had to remove because someone filed a case. In that case, do you think it's not possible? I believe it is fairly possible, because there will be multiple people, or I believe there will be someone around the world who have had a copy of that content by himself. In blockchain, they have a similar case where they have the content, like a copy of that content. Now, in Web3 case, it's and now how do you get access to it? you get access to it from torrent or these platforms, which basically connects peers to peer, and then you get over the data or that file over the peer, like, or over the peer to peer connection. In a similar way, in Web3, it is just that the content, these peers are connected across the world, across the globe in blockchains, and people still have that content. If you want to remove it, as I said, there can be geolocation removement where you can, or if you can say all the platforms that don't show this content as a government, else we will ban your domain name or something. But broadly, we believe that the content should be there, whatever it is. So the content would be there, and if, let's say, the content is something which is against humanity or mankind and everyone wants to remove it, then all the crust nodes have to, go ahead and remove that content from their nodes. So that's the way possible, but I don't see that coming in near future.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, keep the questions coming. We'd love to hear more if any of you have any questions. All good. Awesome. I'm gonna take that as no more questions. Tushar, amazing. Thanks so much for explaining all our questions and also for this really, really great workshop. Again, thank you to everyone who attended as well. It's so great to see so many of you here with us today. But before I end the session, I thought it'd be a great opportunity to let you know about a fantastic upcoming bootcamp we have starting next week. So we actually have the Polkadot hackathon coming next week, and we'd love to see some of you there. I'm just going to quickly ping the link in the chat. So if any of you are keen to come, we'd love to see you there. Here it is. Amazing. But yeah, we have some fantastic bounties and prizes. All the, as Tushar knows. But yeah, no, it'd be great to see more of you there. But yeah, just making sure that the information is all around. But once again, a massive, massive thank you to Tushar and also the Subsocial team for this incredible workshop. I was mistaken, there is one more tomorrow. So really great. Hopefully we'll see more of you tomorrow. But yes, amazing. So thank you all again. I hope you have a lovely day.
Yeah.
And thanks to
everyone. Yeah. Thanks everyone. See you in the hackathon. Do participate. I would love to see and connect with you there. And all the
Yes.
best. Yeah. Bye.
Amazing. Bye, guys.